Hey everybody, good morning. I usually never go live this early because I'm like trying to feed my child and stuff, but I'm on vacation, so I'm super excited. I have like this week off. We're like leaving to head to my parents' house, so I'm like super excited about it. So hey Kara. So I'm going to be like brief today. I just wanted to kind of check in with everybody. I've had a lot of questions about, the membership stuff and like what we're doing. So I wanted to talk about that a little bit. And then just, hopefully just give you some gems to kind of start your week out right. Hello, everyone. How is everybody doing? How are you guys feeling with ending the year? And, we have a fresh start ahead of us, but I'm really trying to like spread the message of like really ending this year like really strong. Because I think we can get so obsessed with, all right, I'm going to try again next year. I'm going to do this, whatever, blah, 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 blah. But I want us to like, there's still like 4 weeks left in this year. And so I really want to push everybody to not use this time to like rest with your family for the holidays, but like don't sleep on these last few weeks of the year because you can get a lot of really good momentum on whatever you're trying to do to kind of push you into the new year. So yeah, so how is everybody doing? Oh, you're welcome, Peter. Thanks for connecting with me here. I appreciate it. I do just want to speak to the fact that it's been kind of a rough week for the CRNA community. And it just, it makes me just remember, I get a lot of DMs and a lot of people are struggling with like various things. And I just want us to all remember that social media doesn't always tell like the full truth about people's lives and things. So just remember to be really that you're not alone in your insecurities. You're not alone in your struggles. You're not alone with your fears and your thoughts, that we all battle that no matter where you are in life, CRNA or not, millionaire or not, everyone has the same human emotion. So I don't want you guys to ever feel that you're alone or it's just you or anything like that. And please know I'm always here. I've connected with such amazing people. And like, if you are really struggling, please don't be afraid to reach out, because it is about, your mental health should always be first and foremost over everything else. So I just wanted to just throw that out there, and let you guys know too that I think there's a lot of people struggling kind of silently, and I don't like that, which is why I created my membership community, because I think so many people just sit and think they're so alone, and that's so not the case. So I'm really trying to build up a community of people where we can be authentic and vulnerable with each other and kind of recognize the same struggles other people are having, and then we can build each other up, and it's going to be, your potential and everything's going to be limitless from there. So that's really the point of my membership. I wanted to talk a little bit about that, because I've been a lot of questions about it. So I want to clear everything up. So Peter says, does it do any mock interviews? So the membership for now is for nurse anesthetists that have been accepted. But I do mock interviews. I absolutely love them. And I have like a big interview prep bundle with like everything in it. So I do that as well. And I do a lot of mindset and stuff. I got a lot of really good videos for interview stuff in there as well. So yeah, if you guys have questions, like I just want this to be like, ask me questions. Let's just chat, hang out, I'll talk about my membership a little bit, give you guys some gems. Nothing like super formal. Just wanted to check in, hang out today. Let's see, where am I at? And I want to remind you all is that part of the reason I was doing the membership too is like, you are your own personal mind manager. Thank you, Patty. I appreciate that. And you're your own time manager and your own mind manager. And I think it's really easy to get really caught up and lost in trying to get into CRNA school and trying to get through it. And we want to do a lot of blaming, like, well, they shouldn't have treated me like that and they shouldn't have done that. And yes, that's true. But we also bring our own unique set of circumstances with us wherever we go, right? We have our past, we have all these things that have kind of shaped us, and we bring those with us. And when we get into new territory and new situations, a lot of that stuff just kind of comes to the surface, right? And we kind of it's easy to get like, have a new stressor happen, like, have a baby, start school, whatever, have an interview. And it kind of just brings all these limiting beliefs and all these kind of like imposter syndrome, all these thoughts just tend to come forward. And a lot of it is shaped by kind of what has happened, to each of you individually in the past because you bring your own unique circumstances. So I want to remind everybody that all those thoughts and all those things that you feel that are icky and don't feel good are actually completely normal, and that you're not a failure for thinking certain things and for getting stressed out and feeling the overwhelmed, but you're actually extremely capable. And I do a lot of like coaching in the membership about that because I have done a lot of work on myself through CRNA school and beyond. And when you just realize that like you're normal and you're okay, and it's not like weird to think like I'm not good enough, I suck, like this and that, that's when you can start to shift and change. And you can kind of look into your brain kind of unconsciously and really start to bring awareness to that. And once you're able to do that, everything changes. Everything around you changes. Your relationships, how you handle stressors in school, and all the stuff like that. And so that's really kind of at the core what I am trying to do in my membership, is really trying to build you all up and kind of learn where all those kind of not bad thoughts, but kind of those negative thoughts you have about yourself, where those are coming from, and how we can shift and change and kind of make like new tracks like in your head. Hey everybody, Franny says it's not about us versus them. It's important to foster a culture where we elevate each other. Absolutely. And I will say all day, like I am anti-bullying culture. I am like like treat people like crap because they're in school. Like I am one person, but I really am trying to do my part with that, because I just think like the world is just messy enough. And I just don't think if we're trying to become CRNAs and, help people in our own part, we all bring something unique to the table, and there is enough room for everyone at the table. So please know that. And that's why I want you guys to always feel like you guys can, come to me if you need anything. Hi, Brianna. I'm so glad to see you guys up so early. I love it. I was like, I don't know who's going to be up. So I want you guys to think I'll talk about, like myself a little bit, is that part of the reason I've been mentoring, for like over like a year and a half now. So I get a really beautiful inside look at some of the struggles you guys are having. And a lot of people are having those struggles, and I had those struggles. I mean, I'm telling y'all, like when I was in anesthesia school, I would cry in the OR at 5 a.m. I get there early, to get all set up and get ready. And I just remember bawling in the OR because my life was a mess. My soul was a mess. I also remember like I was getting a case ready. It was like a shoulder surgery. And the tech and the surgeon were like ripping off my EKGs and like literally like throwing them at me and like laughing at me and making fun of me. And I was just like, seriously, this is my life right now. And I just remember the bullying amongst classmates of like unscrewing, like, making things loose so they didn't work, or taking batteries out and unplugging stuff. And I never forget that. Like, I never forget how I felt back then. And I see it in some of you when you guys reach out to me, of just like just the pain, and just like, is this worth it? And why did I want to do this? And why is it like this? And that's a lot of the reason why I wanted to do this membership for people into school, is because I don't believe that it has to be that hard. It doesn't have to be that hard, and we don't have to struggle. And like, it doesn't have to be like that. And the thing is like, emotional intelligence, right? It is like the buzzword for the last like few years about having this emotional intelligence. And I think we can throw that word around. We can watch the TED Talks. We can do whatever. But what does that really mean, to be socially and emotional intelligent and really in charge of your emotions and really in charge of how you maneuver and handle yourself in school, in the operating room, in your marriages, in your relationships, like at home, as a parent, as a friend, as a partner? I think it's important. I don't think we really understand what that looks like to do that. And that is also what I'm trying to do in the membership. And I've also kind of been infusing little coaching sessions into my interview bundle and into other things, because I know that if you all could really understand how your mind works and really learn how to exude emotional intelligence and what that really means at the core, everything else will change. Hey girl, I haven't seen you in a while. Self-care, what's up? Everything will start to change. And I think that I preach it all the time. You can't change anybody else. You can only change yourself. You can't change anybody else. You don't change, but it's true. And if you really start to embark on kind of a mind transformation journey, you are able to handle things so much differently. And I want to kind of like picture yourself, like wherever you're kind of at in your journey, if you're in school, if you're in that, but what if like 6 months from now, like your preceptor is yelling at you, the surgeon is picking on you, your program director says something that's like super just, rude and mean and like whatever. What if you had the tools to get in front of that? Like, what if you could have like an undefeated attitude and be able to have that emotional intelligence, that buzzword, have the ability to just move and groove and pivot no matter what everybody else is doing? And that is truly what the membership is about, is you're still going to have those problems. Like they're not going to go away. There's still going to be anxieties. There's still going to be thoughts, etc. But like, what if you didn't have to struggle so hard? What if you learned how to, handle your limiting beliefs and handle your thoughts and your imposter syndrome and your anxiety, and you were just in a better place through school, and not every single little thing affected you and knocked you off, that you actually created more resiliently and made a choice on how you were going to feel and act throughout the day. And that's like really at the core what I am trying to do, is because it's a messy time, and people can be really rude and really whatever because they have their own issues that they're not dealing with. But like, what if you dealt with yours? Like, think of how much things could like really, really, really change. And make sure nobody would have care say. We can ultimately only control how we react, and how we learn and grow from experiences, good and bad. Absolutely. And that is like so freaking true. But there's actually like a system and a way to do that. And that is what I really want to do, is just start coaching you guys to what does it look like to not be reactive, but to just kind of learn to engage with yourself, learn to deal with other people, and not be so reactive. Because I'm a very reactive person, like legit. Like, just ask my husband. I don't know what he would tell you guys. I'm super reactive, but I'm learning where my reactivity comes from and how to manage my mind and my mood and my emotions. And I know a lot of people are like, I just don't understand how you do so many things. And it's not that I'm doing so many things. I just know I have a vision, and I know from my heart what I want to do. And I have figured out the tools to kind of be intentional with my time and get, a couple social media accounts done and do all the things I do. It's not really about hustling and craziness or doing whatever. I've learned to manage my mind and be intentional with my time. And therefore, I'm able to be, productive to an extent. And I also know when to, sometimes you guys don't see me on social. I also know when I'm not feeling it. And I'm like, I'm not going to show up today. Not feeling in good energy. I'm going to take a break. And I think that's important too, is you don't have to be on and perfect all the freaking time, right? You just have to be able to learn how to pivot. So that is a lot of things that we're doing in the membership. I know a lot of you have been asking me as well, like, I don't have enough time. I'm drowning. I'm overwhelmed. Like, how the heck can I do this? And I just want to say that the mindset coaching, so you get weekly mindset coaching in my membership, which is really the like unique thing. So 15 to 30 minutes a week is all you do. Have to like schedule that into your time to listen to your session. You can watch the video, you can do it audio. And I give you kind of little things to work on, but it's really 15 to 30 minutes a week that I really do push you guys to do the mindset coaching. Because that is what's going to change the game. Everything else to me is bonus. Like I do live master classes. I'm actually doing a live coaching today, doing a live coaching call. So you can come with your questions. It's almost like a, session with me. We can chat. We can work through some things. So I do, monthly coaching calls every single month live that you can pop on. I do post the replays. And then I do master classes monthly. Like this month I did like an induction sequence and drugs master class. And the thing is, you guys do not need more information. You don't. You have enough, right? Between social and school and people's opinions, everything. You don't need more information. I just want to help you guys use the information you have. How can you break it down? How can you apply it? Like, here's my notes. Like, here's what I did. Like, I am just giving you things to make your life easier, not to add more stress. Because I know you guys don't need more information. You just need to be able to handle like what you've been given. So I hope that kind of makes sense. So that's kind of like the mindset coaching, I think, is a big part of the membership, 15 to 30 minutes a week. And then obviously the bonuses are just the live master classes. You can come get your questions answered. You can put questions in the discussion for me and I'll answer them on the live classes and then I post them. So there's that. What was I going to say? Oh yeah. Also, some of you guys have also asked, well, I'm like almost graduating. Like, what use can I get of it? So I want to just say is that it's never too early and it's never too late to work on you, right? And to work on your mindset and to work on that. So even if you're close to graduating, or no matter where you're at, or maybe you feel like you're fine. I'm fine in the program. I have no stress, whatever. And that's great. That's awesome. But there's always going to come a point where you're going to have something is going to tip, right? So building resilience and being on top of your mind and your beliefs and all the things that are going to happen with graduation and boards and the C and the NCE and big decisions and going from low income to making more money and all those things, like getting back into life, like that's also a great time to be coached on. So even if you're like about to finish up, I would welcome you in, because it's never too late or too early to do, mindset coaching. Senioritis can be super counterproductive, but what if you could just live your life with a managed mind? like what if you could just live your life more managed and like more in control of you, and what that really looks like? Like I said, this is like beyond like listening to the stuff and TED Talks, but really like plowing through your brain, like with me, and looking at like, how can you manage yourself better? How can you show up as your best self to where you are untouched by what everybody else is doing around you? And all we do is prioritize, right? Like as CRNAs, SRNAs, we are constantly prioritizing. That's all we do. Yet we suck at prioritizing in our own lives. Anybody else? Like, you know what I mean? Like we are not good at it. We will do everything we have to do to keep our patients alive, as we should, but then we don't do any type of prioritization in our own life. And that's like why I kind of started off saying is, there's just so much like mental health and so many just mental health problems and issues going on right now. And I just really urge you all to find something that makes you happy, like in your weeks, no matter what goal you're doing or what you're getting, and do that. Because it's so crucial to sit back and like reconnect with yourself and, breathe and get out of this like social media, CRNA, what's everybody else doing, like rat race, and really focus like on your own your own journey. Because I think what I see happens is, and I did this in my 20s like very well, is like we keep going, right? We just keep going, we keep pushing through, we keep making it. I got to get the goal, I got to do this, I got to get this, I don't have any time. And we do have time. And then like a wheel falls off, right? And then we just pick the wheel up, we tape it on, and we keep going again. And then it falls off again. And then like another wheel breaks, And so I just want to remind you guys that when the wheels do fall off or they're starting to shake, like that's a warning sign. And those warning signs are beautiful chances for y'all to pivot and to do something differently. And sometimes we want to be so in control of what's happening in school that we try to control everything at home. And then we make ourselves like crazy. And then we go into this cycle, because it's comfortable, right? We want comfort. We want to be pain-free. We want to be in control. So where are you trying to gain control in other areas of your life that may or may not be working out because you don't have control over here, when in all actuality, it's time for you to pivot. Like it's time for you to actually get out of that kind of comfortability and that pain-freeness that you're looking for, and actually kind of change and pivot what you're doing and get uncomfortable, because on the other side of that is where growth happens and transformation happens. And that's when things change. And that is what I want for each of you on this journey. Like I want this to not just be getting the CRNA after your name, getting the diploma and getting all the things. I want you all to transform and change and be so unrecognizable when you get done to this, and be so ready to take on the next step. Because I'm here to tell you guys, just because you graduate and get the travel and get the house and get all the things, life doesn't necessarily get easier. But if you can learn how to manage the now and manage the mess of today and the issues of today, your resilience is going to be built and built and built, so you can handle everything that comes in the future. Because everything is not just going to be easier because you get into school or get the interview or get that. Does that make sense? How you guys doing? Questions or anything? I'm really not meaning this to be formal. I just want to chat with y'all. Questions, concerns, anything, let me know. So I was working with my coach the other day, and I completely love this analogy. I wish I could take credit for it, but I can't. But I was working with my coach because I get coached because I have a lot of mind drama, and a lot of things have started to change for me. I think my businesses have gotten better. I think I've gotten better as a mother and as a wife because I, have chosen to take a peek behind the curtain and deal with my own limiting beliefs and my own problems. But I love this like analogy that she had is like, so for those of you that are, started school and you're in the OR, like we have like a sequence, right? I just did a masterclass in my membership on this, but we have like a sequence of things that we do before a patient ever comes in the operating room. It's always, I compare it to like, they compare anesthesia to aviation, right? you better hope and trust that those pilots and everybody else did all those checks on that plane before you get into it, right? Anesthesia is the same way. So I want to kind of encourage you to think about things like this. So the first thing we usually do when we get into the operating room is we do a machine check, right? We check our machine, because if our machine doesn't work, we can't give the anesthesia, we can't ventilate the patient, like that's all a hot mess. So for you, like your machine check is right here. Like checking in with the brain and understanding with like how your brain works and what you're doing, right? It's the self-coaching. It's doing like looking at the thoughts that you're having. It's, it's finding something small that you can do for yourself. So once you think of your machine check every day, how often are you checking in with yourself and checking in with your head, and not just like blasting through this, like trying to survive and get by and whatever, I'll deal with it later. Like, no. Brain. So machine check, brain, have to do it, must do it. And then suction, I love it. No induction without suction, right? You never want to have no suction when you're putting someone to sleep, because God knows what could happen. So think about the things. So your suction, what are some actions that can kind of move you forward? What are some small wins that you can get this week? Like, what are some small things that you can do that'll make your just heart and soul feel good on your journey? It's about kind of getting momentum. And that goes back to what I said in the beginning. I know the year is ending, and it's really, we want to look ahead and just like throw this year in the garbage and get rid of it and do whatever and focus on the new. But like the momentum and everything happens right here, right? It happens right here in these last few weeks of the year. So I really encourage you to pick up your suction, because no induction without suction. You can't like get to the next step if you're not doing small wins and small victories and little things that are actually going to propel you to the next level. So think about what can you do this week that'll get you closer to your goals and closer to the person that you want to be. Because I'm always going to say it's about who you become, not what you do. All right, so airway. So we got our machine check, we got our suction. So airway, right? Airway is, I want you to think about, is that your belief. Like, obviously, if we can't manage the patient's airway, then we have a lot of problems, right? If you don't check your beliefs and like your imposter syndrome and some of like the mind garbage and drama that's going through you, you're not going to survive, right? You're going to be like that analogy I said. You're just going to be like this bus with this wheel that keeps falling off, and you're going to tape it on, and another wheel's going to break, and keep going, right? It's time to pivot, right? It's time to look at what you're believing in, why you believe those things, and creating new tracks in your head. Because the thing with our brain is they're plastic. Like, for so long, they believed like we were like teenagers and our brain was fixed and we couldn't do anything new. Not the case. Our brains are very pliable and very plastic until the day that we're done here on earth. So you can make new tracks, make new waves, and like switch all your beliefs. So that's airway. And then drugs, right? Drugs are like feelings, right? You get that ketamine going, you're feeling pretty good. So I want you to look at drugs. We get our drugs ready, right? We check our machine, we get our suction going, we get our airway in place so we can keep our patient alive. And then we have drugs we give them. Drugs I want you to look at is like your feelings, which come from your thoughts. You do not have to believe all the thoughts in your head, because they're not all true. And I say this like all the time, because I've really had to look at some of the things like I have thought. Your thoughts create feelings, which is actually giving you guys the result. So if you can go up and we can do some work on like, what thoughts can we think? Like, I am capable of becoming a CRNA. Like, there's evidence that I can do this. If we can work on that, your emotions will change. You will rewire tracks in your brain, and then you'll start to get the results you want, like for real. And I am like proof of that. And I want to end on this last note. You guys have any questions, like poke them up, chat with me. I'm here. I'm hanging before my vacation starts. I got to do a lot of packing today. It's going to be a hot mess of a day. But I talked about this a little bit on the live that I did. But so many of you think that your worth is tied to your performance, because I feel like that is what is ingrained in us. You are born and you're a baby, and then you go to school and you have to get good grades, and then you have to go to college, and you have to do all these things to be worth something, right? And I feel like that's just so ingrained in us from day one. And what happens is you get so worried about how you're performing and how other people see you and how you look and do they like me, that you're not even happy. You're just stressed. There's no happiness there. There's no contentment there. There's just stress and stress and stress. And you're just like this mess. Instead of this new way that I'm trying to teach is like, what if you worked on your happiness and you worked on your mind first? Because that is going to fuel your performance, your achievements, which is going to get you to success. But if you're not happy up here first and dealing with your brain, like, you're not going to be happy when success comes later. You'll be happy in the moment, but you're not. So I really urge you all to to really get out of that thing is like going to clinical and maybe just not having a good clinical day. And sometimes I just don't have good 24s. Like I just am like, dude, I can't do anything right on like a 24, right? It happens. Like, but I'm not worried about my worth as a person being tied to how I perform in my 24-hour shifts. Like that has nothing to do with my worth as a person. If a surgeon gets mad at me, if I cancel a case, if like do whatever, that is just doing my job. I'm just doing what I've been trained to do. I'm doing my job. I'm going with my intuition, but it has nothing to do with who my worth as a person. I leave that all there. I might get annoyed. I might get agitated. I might not be in the mood for it, but I am so secure and firm in who I am. And I know that my happiness is not based on what I do on a 24-hour shift, that like, I'm okay, right? So really learn to separate your self-worth as a human from what you're doing at clinical and getting the acceptance letters or getting a wait list. That has nothing to do with who you are. And I think that is so much why our mental health just goes to crap, because we tie everything with performance. Everything, perform good, be happy. Perform good, be happy. Do good, be happy. And we have that all backwards. Be happy, achievement and performance will come. So I really want you guys to go into kind of this week thinking like, I'm going to be okay with who I am and where I am in this moment. It doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if I'm not perfect or good over here. I'm okay. Like I'm good no matter what. Your worth is not tied to what you do at school or if you get into school or when you get into school this go around, right? Right. Hi guys. We spend a lot of time, I think, buffering and avoiding and scrolling and looking on social media. And I think that's why we are so obsessed. I don't have any time. I don't have enough time. I can't do this. If you spent, like I said, 15 to 30 minutes a week, 5 minutes a day, just working on your brain, working on something that's going to transform you from the inside out, you will actually have so much more time available to you. It won't even be funny, because there is freedom in untying yourself from the chains of your head. There is so much freedom in letting go of all those chains that you've built up and allowed other people to do. And that is why, I created this membership, because yes, it's not about doing more. It's about transforming. It's about getting to know yourself so that you can actually do less and have more time, because you're in a better, more resilient place to do stuff. All right. Are you guys good? That's kind of all I had. Let me see if I missed any questions or comments or anything. I just wanted to pop in, say hi, nothing too formal. And like I said, I was getting a lot of questions about the membership, about, having enough time and what if I'm already done with school. And I'm just going to say that there's always going to be a good time to work on yourself and your mindset. And I'm never going to overload you guys with too much information. I'm not going to do that, because I can't deal with too much information. It stresses me out. I had to consolidate all my, hey Melissa, I had to consolidate all my, notes and everything for board. So I am solely just here to make your journey easier than mine was. And I'm hoping to do that by giving you guys tools so that you can show up, not as your best self, but you can also apply information, right? Look like a badass at clinical. That's what I'm all about. Hear me when I say this doesn't have to be so hard. It's not impossible. It doesn't have to be so hard. You just have to do some inner work. And I did a lot of inner work during school. I didn't even know I was doing it. I didn't know there was a formal a formal name for it. But I wish I had someone coaching me. I wish I had someone kind of letting me know that it was normal. I mean, instead I just sat with my feelings and cried them out and then was like, okay, I think I have to get up and do something different. But I do want to help kind of coach you guys through those things. Cause none of you are alone. None of you are thinking thoughts that no one has not thought before. This is just a process. And I think this is better spent if we, did this together and did this in a community. And that's kind of what I'm here about. Oh, thanks, Melissa. I appreciate you. I love, Andrew said, conceal, don't feel. That's what we do. Yeah, that's what we do, is we conceal everything. And then we wonder why something stressful like anesthesia school happens and everything explodes in our life, right? That's the same thing. You can keep covering stuff up through school, and then you're going to get out and be a CRNA, and then something's going to happen, and all this mess is still going to be here. So I just want to help look at the mess, clear it up, so that you guys can just be just complete amazing CRNAs and humans and people, because that's truly what matters. It's not really about, the accolades and getting A's and class president and 4.0. That stuff is great. And I'm not going to lie. I strive for all that stuff as well. But like, that's not going to make you into the person you need to become. Like, that stuff is all well and good. But if you don't work on here and here, like, how does that stuff really matter? It's all about who you become in the process. You guys have any questions? Anything else anything you guys need from me? Want to see more? Anything? And I will be, like I said, I'll be on vacation for a little bit, for just like this week, but I'll still be like around, Questions, anything? I think I got through all the stuff I wanted to talk to today. So yeah, so check out the membership. I would love to have you guys there. It's just monthly, so you can cancel and like stop at any time. I am going to be on at 11 o'clock today doing a mindset coaching. So if you join today, you get mindset coaching. So I'll be doing that live. And I love hanging out with you guys. It's just a great community where we can like hang out. You can ask me questions. There's no drama. There's no judgment. Like, it's just a group of people trying to get through CRNA school, a little bit better than the hot mess, overwhelmed, crazy way. Because that's how I did it. I actually got into CRNA school that way as well. So let's see. Peter asked a question. What are some changes you would like to see in a realm of CRNAs? Asking for a DNAP. Let's see changes. I don't know. Peter, are you still on? I just saw your question. Sorry. What are some changes you would like to see in the realm of CRNAs? Like a DNP idea. Well, I have tons of DNP ideas on my Facebook page of Surviving and Thriving CRNA. I went through like every topic possible and thought about it. I think a lot of the research topics that I've actually been reading a lot about, so I can help more, is about, a lot of the studies looking at sRNA, like resilience. Like, there's actually been, not a lot, but there's been a few studies that looking at burnout, creating resiliency, mental health of sRNAs. I actually think that is like that's actually like a great, what was I going to say? That's actually like a great topic to look at, is like basically that, like, how can we build resiliency and sRNAs in a difficult program? How can we be supported more? And it's funny because the research actually shows like mentoring and like doing fun activities. That's another thing in the membership. See, another bonus. I'm so obsessed with like the brain part, but I'm actually doing a sip and wine like in December. So I'm going to do fun little hangout things, because that's another way. Like, it doesn't have to be all about anesthesia and mind and seriousness, but we also need to learn to have a little bit of fun too. So I'm doing a sip and wine there. Yeah, Melissa says resiliency is a great topic. Yeah, so I think that's like liverature is coming out for that. So that's like something to look at. I mean, even looking at, I think there was like a study about not precepting. Oh my God, when a new CRNA starts, like when you start as a new CRNA, like looking at the onboarding, I can't think of the word right now. Oh my God. But like onboarding, like all that stuff like that. There's like there was a study looking at that and how happy are CRNAs when they start their new job and how supported are they? So that's kind of like a good topic too, is looking at how are we supporting them? How are we making that transition to practice? Because we are unique. We basically, I think when I was in school, you had to have a minimum of 2,000 hours of clinical time, because they basically want you to just be able to go from school and then just be able to jump into an OR and work. So 2,000 hours of clinical time minimum. We obviously get more than that. And so I don't know, looking at those numbers, looking at translation into practice, stuff like that, that's always been like a great topic for DNP. Almost like because I joined as a pre-CRNA person, wanted to ask too soon. So if you are in, you can kind of join whenever. I kind of recommend joining like when you're in CRNA school. I kind of recommend joining a couple months before, because I have a whole module on habits, productivity, creating a knowledge management center, like all the things I wish I would have done in the beginning. However, Melissa, there has been some interest. So if you are not a SRNA yet and you are interested in kind of coaching, because I still am doing the mentoring, obviously, because that's like my heart and soul. I love it. But if you are interested in some coaching, I am going to start doing some coaching for people that are not yet into school. So that will be there as well. And if you're interested, I will DM you, or you can DM me, and we can chat about it more. So I am working on, I'm trying to get this kind of membership up and kind of going. And then I am got some ideas in my mind to do some pre-CRNA school, like not yet yet in. But if you are in and have an acceptance letter, I would say, thanks for that question, Melissa. I would say that I would join maybe a month or two before school, just so you can get yourself organized, set, and start working on that mindset coaching before like you start school, because that's really like the key. You can still clean it up in the middle. That's fine. But, if you can get a little bit of that coaching and stuff before, like it'll be good. And then plus you can kind of get familiar with it. And there's going to be like, I got like a little pre-op course in there and like everything pre-op. There's like a resource library like I'm building up. So yeah. I'm excited too, Melissa. I'm like so freaking excited. I'm like, it's time to change the game. Like the old ways of doing stuff is out. I'm so sick of the old ways of doing a lot of things. Like that's out. No more hustling, no more crying every day. Like no more, like that's out. Like I'm here to help y'all change the game. And I've always been very honest about my journey. It was like super ugly. I'm grateful for it, but it doesn't have to be so ugly. So yeah, super excited. Thanks for that question. That was a good one. Anything else? Any guys' concerns or anything I can do to help y'all anymore? Can I just hang here with you guys for a while? Because I have a lot of packing and cleaning to do. And I don't want to do it. Anything else you guys can think of? Well, I am cheering all of you on, like always. I am here for anything you need. DM me. I might be a little bit behind on the DMs this week because we're going to be, I'll be sitting in the car for a while. My husband is driving. But yeah, DM me if you guys need anything or want to see anything. I see you guys. I see you guys answering my questions when I post and really like thinking and flexing that muscle. And I want to say you guys are all doing a very, very, very good job. You are okay exactly where you are at. And just because you're here today does not mean you're going to be in the same spot tomorrow or the next day. So you're not stuck. You are more capable of doing things than you think you are. And that the possibilities and your potential is like truly so beyond limitless. And I hope you guys can lean into this, close out this year strong. Whatever you are wanting to kind of do in the new year, what are some little things you can do like now? Like what are some little small wins, small victories, little things you can do now to give yourself momentum? So don't stop. I want you to breathe, right? I don't want hustling and craziness, right? I think I did a post on anti-hustle and beliefs and stuff like that. So I don't want y'all to stop. I want you to enjoy your family, but I want you to just make sure you're doing little things every single day, no matter what that looks like for you. No matter, if it's, doing, listening to a podcast that I do with the anesthesia, like, building yourself up, like reading a book, reaching out to somebody, whatever that self-care looks like for you, make sure you're doing that and you're able to, plug in and get the things done that you need to do. Even if it's as silly as like ordering a book or it's, registering for something or looking something up, like all of those things count. So little things all count. So don't discount the end of the year, guys. Finish it out strong. And I really hope to see some of you guys in the membership. My like vision is just to build it up like so strong and just have like, it's like a door, right? You come in, you get your coaching, you do your thing, and then you go out and you share the good news and do it again, and then you graduate. And then, so I just want it to be this big open door of people coming through and just being able to morph and transform and get through anesthesia school and this journey in the best way that you guys can do it possible, because it is possible to not struggle so hard. Thanks, Melissa. Enjoy your time off. Oh, mindset focus. So important it is. It's so important. I didn't realize. And I like literally as someone like who poo-pooed that, I was like, that's dumb. I'm not doing that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm a woman of faith, whatever. I did all the things that I did trying to become a better person, and that's great. But it doesn't mean that you don't have to, what's the quote? Like, you transform yourself by the renewing of your mind. And that's so true. And I was one that was totally against all this stuff. And then I started getting coached and started like reading book upon book and doing it. And like, I'm telling you, my marriage is so different, and he didn't change. I changed, right? My businesses, everything shifted because I just really, really, really decided to work on me. So there is so much potential that you guys have. I love y'all so freaking much. Have an awesome rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. I know it was last minute. Appreciate you. All right. Bye, guys.